Raised from very humble beginnings, Jack Frost grew up in Sevier County, Tennessee, also known as the gateway to the Smokies. At the time, the county was known to be one of the poorest in southern Appalachia. Despite that, Jack possessed the talent and determination to go far in life. He graduated high school in 1948. According to Gary Wade, Vice President and Dean of the Duncan School of Law and former Chief Justice of the Tennessee Supreme Court, Jack was voted as being both the class pest and class optimist. This odd combination just goes to show that Jack had a broad vision for his own future. In high school, Jack played center for the Sevier County Smoky Bear football team, weighing all of 115 pounds, soaking wet, and protected by a leather helmet with no face mask. Despite being the smallest player on the field, he was larger than life. That sentiment still stands today. Another famous graduate of Sevier County High is country music superstar Dolly Parton. According to Mr. Wade, Dolly has been referred to as the second most famous alumnus of the school. You can guess who is number one.
That's an interesting story how I met Jack. So Jack shows up for this meeting about going to Vietnam. And I looked at him, he's sitting there all dressed up like he always is, with all the jewelry he always wears. And I said, Jack, I said, this is a mission trip where we're going to be doing physical labor. And he said, I know that. And I said, well, I mean, we're going to be using shovels and things. We're going to be sweating. And I was picking at him, you know. And he said, I can work as hard as you can. Well, so we get to Vietnam, and he comes out wearing his alligator loafers. And all the rest of us have on our boots, you know. And I said, Jack, you cannot get out and work in the mud and shovel with those expensive shoes on. And he said, well, just take a picture of me with a shovel and a sand pile, and then that'll do it. And that was the extent of his physical labor on the trip. But the reason I think that's so funny is he was probably the most valuable person on the trip. But he helped people financially over there like you wouldn't believe. He helped the orphanage, he helped the children.
Jack and I, we've been good friends for a long time, but I didn't really get to know him until he decided he wanted to revive a Memorial Day parade here. And he asked me to help him. So I went to work with Jack, and Jack totally underwrote 100% of the cost of that first parade. And it would have never happened without Jack Frost's participation and his love of our country and patriotism.
Possibly the nicest guy in Hall County, and possibly the hardest working guy in Hall County. Jack Frost gets up early and stays up late and works hard in between. But what a gentleman, and what a giving, caring individual.
Ever ready bunny. Jack, if you know Jack, he's full energy. He never stops. I've known him for about 30 years now, and he's always going 100 miles an hour. Think of his next thing he's been working on, where he's going next, what he's doing next in business. Always trying to help people in the community, but he never slows down, so I don't know how he keeps up the pace he's got, but very active and always high energy, never slows down. So.
A door-to-door salesman selling cemetery lots opened Jack's eyes to the world of sales. Even though Jack said,
I'm fine if you just toss me in the ditch across the road if something happens to me.
The salesman sold him 4 cemetery lots by convincing him that he surely wouldn't want that for his son. It was then that Jack's life took a turn in another direction. As he explains it,
I thought to myself, I'm working for my daddy who owns a flour mill here in Elizabethton, working 60, 70 hours, making $75 a week, and here, this man made $50 off of me in 45 minutes. There's something wrong with this picture.
He then realized the immense opportunity that he had to change the course of his life. With determination and drive, he soon began buying and selling lots all across the country. In fact, throughout his career, he's bought and sold more than 100 cemeteries in states such as Montana, Virginia, South Carolina, Tennessee, and Georgia. He purchased Memorial Park in 1988 and built a funeral home on the property 2 years later. Since then, he has built Memorial Park South, the Riverside Chapel, and Memorial Park Brazelton, just in our community alone.
He's a visionary. He kind of looks at things before an area develops, or looks at communities and has great ideas of what can happen down the road before somebody makes a major announcement of a new business coming into town, whether he's already ahead of it and kind of stays ahead of the curve. And with his visionary impact, he's always done quite well over the years, all from just hard work. So I admire him about that. He's always kind of been a mentor of mine to look up to with his work ethic.
Jack has been a great leader. He's shy, kind of behind the scenes. He doesn't put his name out front very often. He will put Memorial Park out there, but he doesn't like for his name to be used at all. But Jack is very generous to the arts, as I think we all know. In fact, I always jokingly say that when I do an auction, the two people I'll send a cab after to be sure they're there, and it's Jack Frost and Jim Walters, because I can always count on them to be very generous with their pocketbooks. In fact, one year I sold Jack a generator and a Big Tex trailer. And afterwards he asked me if I would get it because he didn't have a trailer hitch and bring it to his office. So I did, and I went out to his office. He said, just park it with the last 4 trailers and generators he's bought. So he really didn't need it. Jack was there to support the community.
Jack Frost, at a very, very difficult time in my life, witnessed to me and helped me through one of the most difficult times of my life, and I will forever be in his debt.
Today, Jack gives back to so many in so many ways. Sevier County holds a special place in his heart. He is a founding member of an endowed scholarship which annually pays the way for 50 Sevier County High seniors to receive financial aid to help further their education. Locally, he has given generously to countless organizations, and you've probably seen his footprints all over town. Special statues that he has commissioned from Vietnam, for example, a place and people that he holds dear to his heart. Jack has received both community and national awards, such as the Daughters of the American Revolution Medal of Honor, the Featherbone Cum University Master of Innovation Award, and a Lifetime Achievement Award from the Southern Cemetery, among many others.
Probably his love of people and the arts. He's done a lot for the arts in the community. He's done a lot for the schools in the community. He's a very strong believer in the education process and trying to help underprivileged kids and kids of all ages. And his love of Janice. He's always been a great supporter of his wife and a great husband and family man. So.
One thing is, of course, Memorial Park itself. He is so devoted to helping people in times of great need. I've called numerous times to say, Jack, I know of a family that can't afford a decent burial. He'll say, send them to me, I'll take care of them. It's that kind of giving spirit that Gainesville is known for, but we're known for it because of people like Jack Frost. And so I think he's helped establish a legacy of generosity that will be around for a long time after he's gone, and we can all be grateful for that.